Premier League clubs have discovered their paths to success next season after the 2023-24 fixture list was unveiled on Thursday. Reigning champions and treble winners Manchester City open their title defence against a familiar face as they travel to Vincent Kompany's Burnley. The four-time league winner isn't due to return to the Etihad Stadium until January 31, but his comeback is bound to be an emotional one, provided he continues to keep living up to his high standards in the top flight. Pep Guardiola's side won't play their first home game of the campaign until week 2 but can expect a tough test from Eddie Howe's Newcastle. The Magpies finished fourth last term to return to the Champions League for the first time in 20 years, and fans will watch with bated breath to see how Newcastle handle the added responsibility. The opening weekend will also play host to a titanic duel between Chelsea and Liverpool as Mauricio Pochettino announces his return to English football. The former Tottenham chief is hoping to turn a new leaf at Stamford Bridge following an embarrassing 2022-23 season for the Blues, though Jurgen Klopp's Reds won't be looking to offer any condolences in West London. Looking further down the line, fans will have to wait until September 23 for the first North London derby of the season. Mikel Arteta's Arsenal beat Spurs home and away for the first time in nearly a decade last term, but new Tottenham manager Ange Postecoglou will look to nip that streak in the bud. It's an even longer wait for the first Merseyside derby of the season, with Liverpool first up to host bitter rivals Everton on October 21. The Toffees have failed to score in their last 3 meetings with the Reds, with questions as to whether Sean Dyche can turn the ship around in his first full season at Goodison Park. Last term's title contenders, City and Arsenal, will meet for the first time at the Emirates on October 7. Guardiola Company are on cloud 9 after clinching a historic treble this past season, giving Arteta all the more motivation to rain on his old mentor's parade. That same month, the Blues will also be first on the road to rivals Manchester United as they ask the question of who's the noisy neighbour these days. City would also be wise to keep one eye on fixtures against Brentford in December, home, and February, away, the only team to manage the double against the European Kings last term. 2023-24 Premier League fixtures. Key dates: Burnley vs Manchester City, 8 p.m. Chelsea vs Liverpool, 4:30 p.m. Manchester City vs Newcastle, 3 p.m. Tottenham vs Manchester United, 3 p.m. Newcastle vs Liverpool, 3 p.m. Arsenal vs Manchester United, 3 p.m. Manchester United vs Brighton, 3 p.m. 3 Arsenal vs Tottenham, 3 p.m. Fulham vs Chelsea, 3 p.m. Tottenham vs Liverpool, 3 p.m. Arsenal vs Manchester City, 3 p.m. Wolves vs Aston Villa, 3 p.m. Chelsea vs Arsenal, 3 p.m. Liverpool vs Everton, 3 p.m. Chelsea vs Brentford, 3 p.m. Manchester United vs Man City, 3 p.m. Newcastle vs Arsenal, 3 p.m. Tottenham vs Chelsea, 3 p.m. Chelsea vs Manchester City, 3 p.m. Manchester City vs Liverpool, 3 p.m. Newcastle vs Chelsea, 3 p.m. Manchester City vs Tottenham, 3 p.m. Newcastle vs Manchester United, 3 p.m. Manchester United vs Chelsea, 8 p.m. Liverpool vs Manchester United, 3 p.m. 3 Liverpool vs Arsenal. 3 p.m. Manchester City vs Brentford. 3 p.m. Liverpool vs Newcastle. 3 p.m. Chelsea vs Fulham. 3 p.m. Manchester United vs Tottenham. 3 p.m. Newcastle vs Manchester City. 3 p.m. Liverpool vs Chelsea. 8 p.m. Manchester City vs Burnley. 8 p.m. Arsenal vs Liverpool. 3 p.m. Brentford vs Manchester City. 3 p.m. Manchester City vs Chelsea. 3 p.m. Arsenal vs Newcastle. 3 p.m. Chelsea vs Tottenham. 3 p.m. Brentford vs Chelsea. 3 p.m. Man City vs Manchester United. 3 p.m. Liverpool vs Manchester City. 3 p.m. Arsenal vs Chelsea. 3 p.m. Everton vs Liverpool. 3 p.m. Manchester City vs Arsenal. 3 p.m. Chelsea vs Manchester United. 7:45 p.m. Manchester United vs Liverpool. 3 p.m. Manchester United vs Newcastle. 3 p.m. Tottenham vs Manchester City. 3 p.m. Tottenham vs Arsenal. 3 p.m. Liverpool vs Tottenham. 3 p.m. Manchester United vs Arsenal. 3 p.m. All fixtures dates and times are subject to change.